Nice. Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome to the explanation while there was a 2 days gap in my videos. Now I am here in a plane that is absolutely amazing, the G55 Sottoserie Zero. It is practically, for all intents and purposes, in terms of handling and overall experience, like the G55S, but with a different armament, and instead of having a 4.3 battle rating, it gets 4.0 at rank 3. Now, as you saw in the beginning, I thought this would be an amazing weekend for me. I had a bit more time to play the game than usual, and I thought to myself, yeah, let's get into it, play the Americans, spade a lot of the Shermans and other tanks, try to spade a few tier 4 British tanks, a lot of the Italian lower tiers ones. I'm probably not gonna be able to make a video out of low tier stuff. Granted, this is 4.0, so it's not the highest either, but you know what I'm getting. But what happened this weekend was not nice. Aside from personal things, like just today somebody took my car without my permission, without me knowing it, and guess what? When it came back, it was not, let's say, complete. I have to talk to this person very, very intensively, I have to say. Very intensively. I love my car. I don't like it to be damaged. Now, granted, it was not that person's fault, except, you know, practically taking the car without my permission, but that's not the topic of the video. The topic of the video is that, you know, even I can have very, very bad days, even in succession, even without doing what I considered my best, and, you know, asking myself very often, am I still that good? I've seen better times in War Thunder. Yeah, and you know, it came from playing the Spavieros, which are absolutely bad. I love their look, I love how they once played in arcade, but in RB, they're atrociously bad. Oh god! Like, the handling is stiff, they fly more like 4-engine bombers, although you can troll people sometimes, and overall the bomb load even doesn't work. Like, there is a glitch with the 250 kilogram bombs where the first and the last one out of the 5s doesn't explode. That is bad because you can't take down a base. Now, I'm just interrupting the gameplay just for a short sequence here. That was also the beginning of the weekend, and it was another bad thing. I was flying the F2A Buffalo, trying to respade it, and I have to say, this is a little monster. 350 cals and a light machine gun, and I thought by attacking this BV-238 from below I would help my team. Somebody disagreed. I thought I had overseen an enemy, but no, it was a P-43A1 that team killed me without any provocation, without any recognition in chat. I don't know if this guy was salty because maybe I have killed him while I was driving an IS-6 or something like that. I don't know. But the thing is, what to do when you get team killed like that? Here is the tip. Pick that guy, get him into your blacklist, and then complain about him for being a team killer. And then write the sentence, what happened, what he did, and that you didn't provoke him, something like that. That's the only thing that you can do. There are always people that just are doing weird things, and please don't pick on this guy just because he team killed me in that one battle. It's just an example what happened on this weekend and how to deal with it. Keep calm and just try your best. The thing is, again, I played the Spavieros, which are awful. There is the Bomb Bug, which is awful. Then there are slow, the handling is bad. The defensive capabilities are awful, like they have defensive gunners, but directly behind the plane where enemy planes usually park to shoot you, well, you know, there is no angle for the machine guns to shoot at. That is awful. So the safest place for an enemy plane is directly behind you. Then I have to say that the Z1007 BIS Serie 3 and 5, which look like bigger Spavieros, are much better in terms of how you can use them, the bomb load, and the situations. For example, if you really want to spade them, first try out to get the torpedo and the other bombs. The torpedo is very good for Norway to sink the light cruisers, which give really big amounts of RP and a little bit of Silverline. But it doesn't look like they give you so much RP, but in post-battle results you get 2.5, 3,000 RP for 2 kills, so flying back once to the base is quite something. And that's here is my first customer, an F4U, drastically underestimating the handling of my plane. When I say handling, that has nothing to do in particular with the elevator authority or how hard you can turn. So I waited to pull the trigger until the point that the P-51 and my teammate passed each other, and then I finished him off quickly. And you can see this plane is fun. It's really, really fun. A short ending to the Z1007s. They are better looking. They are not necessarily fast. The bomb load or the loadout in general is better, and the defensive gunners overlap, and that led to a lot of really, really nice kills and overall possibilities in the defensive area. I thought I would have this guy, but I was not aiming aggressively enough, and I ripped my flaps, which is a bad thing. However, it doesn't affect the performance of the plane, so I think that's a little, let's say, feature of the flight model. And then now let's talk about this plane in particular. The G55 Sotto Serie 0. It reminds me a little bit in terms of its composition of armament on the P-38s. You have one 20mm in the nose, and you have 4 50 caliber machine guns around it. So the armament is very, very centralized. And then, just look at the handling, look at the precision, look at how you can deal with your opponents. It's just awesome. And I really, really love this. In particular, because the C202EC disappointed me that much. Not going further into this, but let's just say that the additional gun pods under wings completely ruined the plane compared to the C202 or the old MC202 in the German tech tree. So we have one 20mm MG151 cannon in the nose with 250 rounds, and that is like on a BF-109. Everybody knows you can fire quite some time before you run out of ammunition and the shells hit hard. And then we have 4 12.7mm Breda Safat machine guns with 1200 rounds in total. That is also pretty nice. And with that you have quite some firing time, but still have a lot of shell density on a very defined path, so you do not really have to take care so much for convergence and so on. And then there are the other characteristics. Now again, this is more of a first impressions rather than a plane review. However, I can tell you that the handling is awesome. It goes where you want to go. It has decent low speed handling for the BR, and it overall doesn't accelerate nor climbs that well, but again, it's a trade-off between over the edge handling, which you rarely can use to effective purposes, but the handling together with the maneuverability is something that I value very highly in the matter. If you look at high altitude fighters, I guess the majority of fights on nearly all maps happen below 5,000 meters. Maybe some initial dogfights begin at 6,000-7,000 but quickly drop in altitude. Especially then high-end jets that are just rushing each other at like 300 meters altitude and try to take each other out in a head-on. Again, this is not a final verdict on the plane because it is not fully upgraded, as you will see at the end of the video, where I usually get my results. What I wanted to tell you is, this was the battle that I said it will be the last battle of the day. The plane was not fully upgraded, yet I liked its handling. In the previous battles I was always misplaced rather. I did the right thing, you know, climbing, not directly going into the combat, but while the plane is not slow, it's also not fast enough to go into position and on the map, like traveling like 10 kilometers and then still make a difference in a 1 versus 1 of a teammate and an enemy fighter. So very often I survived matches, but I didn't get a single kill or even fired my guns sometimes. That was a bit deeply disappointing and frustrating in the first place. But that was not really my fault, nor was it the fault of the plane. It can happen, yet it influences your first impressions on the plane. And so I thought that this battle should show what is what. It combines really everything that I like about Italian and to a certain degree on our German planes, but also the Axis team play, sticking together in a wolf pack, helping each other out, forcing or taking on the head-on, taking enemy by surprise, and just use your initial good climb rate. This climb rate on this plane is not fully there because again it's more or less stock. But I guess with having German engines, you need to go for the engine injection, as that makes a huge difference. But this is also a energy / term fighter in relatively wide sense. It can turn, but you should not really take on Spitfires directly. In a 1 versus 1, a Spitfire Mark 9 with a normal pilot or a pilot of your skill set ends you. However, you can take them on if they black out, if you catch them off guard, if they underestimate you. Then you have something that I miss a little bit on Bf-109s, and that is that you can turn not as sharp as a Spitfire, but still very, very good compared to other boom and zoom fighters. But that's not the point of this plane, really. Where it goes is overall in the anti-fighter role, rather the anti-bomber role, and when in the future we will see, I guess, Italian tanks as well. At some point, I know nothing about it, it's just wild speculation on my behalf, yet it seems logical. Then, I guess the Italian planes have a big drawback so far. They have no good CAS potential. If I would translate the performance in air RB of the plane so far, except for jets of course, into tank RB. And also when it comes to taking down bases, they don't have the bomb load capacity nor the variety of bomb load overall. I said that the Z1007 series had a wider variety of bigger and better bombs than the Spavieros, but the Spavieros are atrociously bad. Okay, so and then there was the fight over our airfield, and finally I burned the Bf-109, and that was important because, well, that secured me another kill. And I had to finish him off with the cannons. And then, you see, that was the big mistake of the enemy team, that they didn't go into the fight together, that they, I guess, used a few bombers. Usually the American and British team does such things. They came at us one at a time. In a 1 versus 1, again, they would be better in a lot of cases. But it's the German team play. together with the smooth handling, the direct response of the plane, and the weaponry, which is more like a needle, yet a constant death sentence for the enemy, rather than a sledgehammer or broadsword that just smashes the enemy like 3 20mm cannons or something. You know, it's really nice. I love the plane, I love that battle, and it finally brought a smile to my face. And it was already Monday morning, 1 o'clock, where I actually are commenting the video. And I have bad days, but even the worst times can get over. So there were the results. There you can see how upgraded the plane was. The weaponry was not fully upgraded in terms of precision, but I guess now it will further go into that direction. The plane will become even better. Let me know if you like to see such videos. Give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see each other on the battlefields and in the skies of War Thunder.